then you got Snead, and you got the young guys out there at corner, McCrary in there at slot, and these two safeties. It's like, man, this is a talented unit that knows how to play defense, and so they're giving people fits, man. And they've had a fast start in all their games, and it just hadn't quite been able to close it out. And like I say, you change a couple of things on the turnover ratio, and this is a totally different deal.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover.
All right, thanks for tuning in to the Lions Hangover Podcast. I am Brad. Please rate and subscribe the podcast, share it with your friends. These are the things that matter to me most. If you wouldn't mind helping me out, helping me get this podcast growing. Thanks, guys. I really do sincerely appreciate it. Don't forget, you can find me on all social medias. I'm on the X, I'm on the Instagram, and I am also on the Facebook. The Zuckerberg book. We heard Dan Campbell talking about the defense there. The Titans 1-5, week 8 matchup against the Lions 5-1. Lions, of course, coming off of that solid performance, all-around performance against the Minnesota Vikings last week. This is probably what they would call a trap game a little bit. This is the meat, a very low-fat, thin meat in a difficult bread sandwich, if you get my analogy here. The Lions played Minnesota last week, and they play Green Bay next week. So this might be one of those games, where you look at the matchup and you're like, oh, we can breathe a little bit. This is going to be an easy matchup. But that might not be the case. You can't lose your focus. You can't let up on that gas pedal. You really have to, stay focused. And, I think Dan Campbell has earned our trust. I believe the team will be focused. They will be, they're aware they're playing the Titans. I don't think they'll be caught daydreaming or anything like that. Now, is it going to be a blowout? I don't know. Titans supposedly have a great defense. We can look at these numbers in a little bit here. Will Levis is not going to be playing. We're going to get Mason Rudolph. The Titans just traded Amari Cooper. So it seems like they're starting to dismantle this team a little bit. They're getting ready for a little bit of a rebuild. So, 8 weeks into it, it seems like they might be calling it quits. But at the same time, there could be guys on the Titans that are looking to step it up, looking to prove their roster spot, looking to prove their worth. And like I said, this might be a game where the Lions lose their focus a little bit. I believe the Lions will be prepared. But I mean, everybody has to buy into this. You can't have half of your team into it and the other half just kind of sleeping and stuff. Everybody's got to come ready to play. This is an NFL team. Stranger things have happened. This would be an upset, but how much of an upset would it really be? I would not take the Titans lightly. But it seems like a no-brainer that the Lions are going to win. I'm just, trying to soften the blow a little bit, I guess, in case things don't work out. Let's take a look, though. The Lions have never beaten the Tennessee Titans. And overall, against the franchise, going back to the Houston Oilers days, they're 10-3 against the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. The Lions have lost the last 6 to the Titans. Not a whole lot of great showing. I was there though, Thanksgiving 1992, when they lost 24-21 to Warren Moon. That was my first football game at the Pontiac Silverdome. Thanksgiving. Went with my whole family and my grandparents. Yeah. I think, let's look at the box score. I'm just curious. I think that was an Andre Ware game. It could be a Rodney Peete game, but I think it was Andre Ware. Oh, I guess I don't get to look. That was a screenshot. Dummy Brad. Okay, but the Lions are scoring 30.3 points per game on average so far this season. The Titans are scoring just under 18. They're at 17.7 points per game. Total yards of offense, they are looking at 259 yards of offense, where the Lions are doing 411. Okay. The Titans, that is, are averaging 166 yards per game in the air and 113 yards on the ground. So they are kind of good at running the ball, but the Lions have a very powerful run defense. We know this. The Lions are averaging 155 yards on the ground and 275 yards in the air. Like I said, a total of 411 yards on the offense. The Lions also, sorry, it's late and my stats are a bit scrambled. Will Levis is the leader on the team for throwing the ball. He's only got 699 yards throwing and 5 touchdowns. Tony Pollard from Dallas now plays in, Tennessee. He's got 400 rushing yards on the season, not too shabby. Calvin Ridley leads the team with 12 receptions and 183 yards, whereas Jared Goff is, of course, our leader, and he's already got 1,600 yards. As a team, with Levis and Mason Rudolph combined, they have like 1,000 yards throwing on the season. That's not too much. Not a whole lot to worry about as far as their passing attack goes. And now that Amari Cooper is gone, Jahmyr Gibbs is our leading rusher with 464 yards currently, and he has 5 touchdowns on the year. And St. Brown is our leading receiver with 39 receptions, 400 yards. We know all of this, though, don't we? Injuries. Yeah, Will Levis is out. Tajay Spears is questionable. They're running back, but, Pollard is their number one guy. Sweat is questionable, their defensive tackle. Tavondre Sweat and Calvin Ridley is questionable. So will we see them in the game at all? Stats. Okay, so Will Levis has thrown 5 touchdowns for 7 interceptions. He's been sacked 15 times. Okay, this is throughout 5 games. So he's giving up 3 sacks per game himself. He's given up 7 interceptions. In 2 games, let's call it a game and a half, Mason Rudolph has thrown for 1 touchdown. He's thrown 1 interception, and he's been sacked 4 times. So their offensive line is pretty poo-poo, the Tennessee Titans. We should be able to get to Mason Rudolph. It doesn't matter that Hutch is out. Our pass rush should be, they should give the fans something to cheer about. Cheer, that is, not chair. Rudolph has a 72.3 rating. Will Levis has a 70.7 rating. So it's not much of a improvement between the two quarterbacks. So I don't think we have anything to worry about there. Like I said, their biggest threat is probably Pollard. He's played in all 6 games, carried the ball 94 times. He's got 400 yards. He's averaging about 4 yards a carry, 4.3 to be exact. His longest is 41 yards. He's got 3 big plays on the season. He's got 3 touchdowns as well. And then Spears has 114 yards. Wow. Will Levis has over 100 yards rushing on the season. Good for him. Okay, so receiving, DeAndre Hopkins was there. He kind of I don't want to say he led the team, but he was second on the team with receiving. Calvin Ridley's number one, though. He's got only 12 receptions for 183 yards, only one touchdown. Hopkins only had one touchdown as well. The tight end, I'm going to have trouble with this name. His first name is Chig, and his name is Okonkwo. Yeah. That's a tough one to say, boys and girls. Okonkwo. All right. Yeah, he's fourth on the team with receptions now. I guess he's third. He's got 107 yards on the ground. He's got another touchdown. Defensively, though, let's see who their big guy is. All right. Landry, the third linebacker. Harold Landry, the third. He leads the team with sacks. He's got 4. The other linebacker, Kenneth Murray Jr., he's got 2 sacks on the year. Defensive tackle, Sebastian Joseph Day, he's got 2 sacks on the year as well. And that's pretty it. There's a couple guys with just 1 sack. Simmons and Key. Yeah. Their kicker's pretty good, though. Nick Folk. He's 9 for 9 on the year, his longest being 53, so he hasn't really been tested. I mean, 53 is impressive, but all of his field goals seem like they're 40 yards and back. He's only got 2 that are between 20 and 29 yards. Of course, we have nothing to worry about with the Lions at all. Let's see here. Going to Detroit Lions stats. I love ESPN for this reason, man. They just tell you everything you want to know. Okay, so the Lions, yeah, Goff has 1,600 yards. Gibbs has 464. St. Brown has 401 yards. Jack Campbell leads the team. Did not know this, with 38 tackles on the year. Is that true? Jesus. Yeah, you'd think it'd be more. But I guess Anzalone missed that game with the concussion protocol. Kirby Joseph leads the team with 4 interceptions. Now, let's get to the good part. This is what I want to see. Montgomery, he's fallen behind 80 yards. He's only got 382 yards on the season to Gibbs's 364. So I wonder if it'll be a Montgomery game tomorrow, keep him off balance. Of course, let's talk about Jameson Williams. He's got the substance abuse suspension. It's not so much substance. He didn't take drugs or anything like that. It's some sort of like illegal substance, though, like creatine or something like that. Something he's not supposed to take. Performance enhancing substance, PES. He's suspended 2 games, so it's kind of okay that he's going to miss this game, but he is going to miss the game against the Packers, which we desperately need him for that. Even though he didn't have a big impact last week, you could tell that teams are starting to game plan for him. They sort of take him out of the picture, and that definitely opens things up for other guys like St. Brown and Khalif Raymond and even Patrick. Excuse me, a little bit of a yawn there. It's like almost 1 o'clock here, so I'm just trying to get this. Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah, Campbell's got 38 tackles. Anzalone's got 35. Davis has 34. Joseph has 33. Branch has 32. Did you guys see that foot? And I talked about this last week, and, man, I'm happy that I called it. I'll take credit for this one. The Lions linebackers have been pretty stellar the last few weeks. And last week specifically, I thought the linebackers did a fantastic job. And it paid off, because if you know anything about PFF, they go through, they grade each and every player. You got to have like a minimum of 12 snaps or something like that to get a grade. And 4 of the top 5 Lions defenders were their linebackers. And throughout the NFL, I think all 4 of them were in the top 20. If I don't think I'm mistaken on that, but yeah, all 4 of the Lions linebackers were in the top 20 of the NFL as far as defense goes. So hats off to the Lions linebackers. They've done a terrific job. Rodrigo's played great. Anzalone, of course, he's the leader on the defense. Campbell's really stepped it up lately. And Nowaski came through huge with that. You almost want to call it a game-winning sack, because there wasn't the 10-second runoff for Sam Darnold, which was crap. It was crap. But yeah, he had that. Well, yeah, let's call it a game-winning sack, a game-ending sack. Anyway, the linebackers have played freaking phenomenal, and Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are the two best safeties in the NFL, and I think even Brian Branch was Defensive Player of the Week. I think. Did I see that? I did see Jake Bates was Special Teams Player of the Week, which is fantastic, but he really only kicked one field goal. Like, I guess just because it was such an important field goal, it was clutch. It's the game winner, wasn't necessarily a walk-off field goal, but yeah. Either way, Lions are playing fantastic football right now. You can see that they've got everything. They're running in top gear. Like, that's a well-oiled machine. Jake Bates, though, man, he's 10 for 10 on the year. I don't think you guys realize that. He hasn't missed a field goal all year. He has missed, right? He missed an extra point, though, didn't he? Where's that at? Yeah, he's 20 for 21 on the extra points. Yeah, this is pretty reliable kicking, I would rather him miss a 1-pointer than a 3-pointer. So I'm okay with him missing that extra point. I mean, even though those are kind of like gimmies, they're not as easy as they used to be. But, yeah, he's better from further away than he is from up close. This should be, I'm going to put my phone down here and just talk to you guys. How's that? All right. Kind of resting my head a little bit just because it's late. It's late. It's getting tired, but I wanted to get this out for the weekend, the pregame show. This should be, even though I use words of caution, this should be a relatively easy game. This should be a walk in the park. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout, but I am willing to say that the Lions should win. I'm just thinking of the score right now. This should be. They don't have much of an offense. Somehow they get 17 points. I'm going to put them at 6. I think they're going to shut the offense out. I don't think they're going to score a single touchdown. I think they will kick 2 field goals, so I'm giving Tennessee 6 points. I'll do it. Okay, here's the score. 31-6 is what I'm saying. Yeah, huge win. I guess technically it would be a blowout, but yeah, I don't see it being an exciting game. I think, the Lions are going to get their big plays, but they're just going to shut Tennessee down. Tennessee's not going to have much to stop the Lions. Oh, yeah, Dan Campbell did mention, I got to get the phone out one more time. Sorry, guys, here. All right, it says here that the Lions are favored by 12 points. This is according to ESPN Bet. The Lions have a 72.9% chance of winning before they even start anything. All right, so some stats I found. The turnover ratio, they're a -9. They've had 8 fumbles. They've lost 4 of them. Yeah, they've thrown for 8 interceptions, all of the quarterbacks combined. I believe I said that between the two, though. And they only got 1 interception back. So turning the ball over is their thing. Creating turnovers is not their thing. This should be a pretty straightforward game. This shouldn't be a team we need to worry about. But I hate saying that because I hate for us to not take them seriously because these are the kind of games that I do worry about. But I see the Lions winning, like I said, 30-6. I don't know what else I can say about this. I mean, I'm sure I'll have more after the game, but this should be an easy game, guys. hopefully everybody gets fed the ball. Hopefully it's a career day for everybody. I mean, that would be exciting. I would love to see some big plays. I'd love to see some trick plays. Hopefully the guys can get up and get motivated for this, though. Because if they take it easy, Tennessee starts fast. They just can't finish the game. So if they let Tennessee into this game, we could be in trouble, And I'm not going to lie, I'll be a little bit pissed if it's close. So hopefully the Lions take care of business and they're in a situation where Hendon Hooker can get some snaps and the backups can get some snaps and, it'll be a good day. It'll be a good day. Hopefully everybody eats, though. But, I think that's it for me. I don't know how much more I can repeat myself on this stuff. I've gone over just about everything between the two teams. I mean, we know who the Lions are, and there's not much of a story to tell for the Titans. So, yeah, that's it for me. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I will be back. I think I could do it Sunday night, possibly, either Sunday or Monday. So I will talk to you guys with the post-game show. All right, have a good one. Bye-bye.